Sure. Yeah, I mean, the guys were excited to be out there. Gave great effort. Coaches, everybody's excited to be out there. So, love. I think our guys love playing football, and I know our coaches love coaching football. So I think everybody had fun.
After a summer of just everything going through vacations and whatnot, dealing with recruits and stuff, what's it just like to get back out there and focus actually on the game?
Yeah, I love football. You know, I mean, I love being out there doing all that stuff. I guess you know, coaching, you get all kinds of different things that go on all different times. So I don't mind vacation with the family either. I enjoyed that, and I enjoy the recruiting and all the stuff goes on with that and everything with it. But I tell you what, it's fun to go out and get to do football, and you know, because you have such limited opportunities. You know, down to 28 more practices till we got to play. Most sports go year round. You know, I mean, baseball probably have a ton of practices and games and stuff this fall, and they don't play until February. You know, we get a 28 days crammed in there quickly to get ready to go play. So we got to get ready, and everybody enjoys it.
First time since April to see guys actually running around working out. What kind of physical condition do you think they're in after this summer, Coach Savage?
Good. Yeah, good. I mean, you know, our practices are intense. I mean, we're up tempo practices in what we do, and I expect guys moving around, flying around, and but I think everybody did good. I think there's the transition, obviously, because you can't, as much as you want to, you can't simulate kind of a football practice in a workout. They're just different. So I think, you know, one of the things is getting that transition. They're in good shape. Our guys are, and but I think the workouts as the summer sometimes go on get easier. Not because the workout's easier, just you're used to doing it more. Same with football. Today's probably a hard day, you know, because it's like, wow, the first time I'm running this way, run, stop, back to the play, run the next play, go from individual to team periods and 7-on-7. You know, and as we get into that, we'll start being more in kind of football shape, if you will.
What are you hoping to get accomplished these first few practices before you put the pads on?
Learn the game. You know, I love the team. Everybody's at such a different level of where they are. Guys to improve on where they are. You know, I mean, guys that are newcomers, first, second year players, should probably look a little different than guys that are fourth and fifth year players, where they are right now. But are you improving from where you should be as a player within the program, within your technique, execution, all those things? Effort should never change. Effort, you know, everybody can. That's easy. You just go give hard effort every single day. But where you are as a football player, I want to see guys where they should be and then continually improve daily.
Just one day in, but see anybody stepping up, maybe trying to take that DAC leadership role of, vocal leader or anything like that?
All of them. They're all did okay today.
Is there anything different than from today to maybe any of the spring practices? Is there a change of anything, or is it basically the same?
In what way?
Just anything. The practice, is it very similar? Yeah.
A lot of the spring ones we have pads on. Mm-hmm. That's a difference. No, but I mean, it's, what we do is pretty consistent, especially right now because you're into installation and teaching. As we move on, it'll get a little different than spring as you get ready for games.
Did the 25% reps between the quarterbacks, does that work the way that you wanted it to today?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the grade sheet totals yet because there's 21 other guys out there on the field I'm looking at as well. So I'm sure Brian, I'll get it from Brian after practice. We review everything. Seem to. I saw them all play, but I wasn't really paying attention to the exactness of it on the field.
A number changes. Do you envision in the future, or I guess how do you envision using the number 36 in the future? Is this something where a player could be used in the future? Or?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I think with something like that, I think it's great. Nick meant so much to us, and the Nick Bell Mentoring Foundation is still involved, and Mississippi State's still involved with that. I know there's scholarships within that foundation. So I think there's some really positive things that we can do to not just honor the number, but also I think that'd be real positive to the foundation, which does a lot of good things in Nick's memory. So, that's very different than all the other number changes I deal with all over the place, which is honestly probably in order of jobs that you want as the head coach, okay? And you start at the bottom as the worst job all the way to the top, number changes gets right about down near the bottom. That's in that very near, that might not be the bottom, but it's awful close, dealing with who's wearing what jersey. Because it's amazing. I think there's 105 guys that reported to camp today that would like jerseys between 1 through 9. Mathematically, we're in a big engineering show. I'd love to see that work out. But no, I think there is. I think when you have numbers that have some significant meaning within the program that way, you want to make sure you're honoring it in doing things the right way. To do.
Do you see it as like a season thing or a game thing?
Yeah.
Depends.
I think it's something that everybody would like to do. The details of how that would get done are still out there.
Related to that, number 21, I know practicing it last year, of course he was redshirted now.
And he played in it in the spring game. Yeah, and so I think one of the things I'd love to do with any of those special numbers is make sure, as we honor the people that wear it, I think one of the things when it just disappears, you're not really doing anything. You're not, but obviously I think the one thing, if I could put one thing on it that I know for sure, is that the position is going to be consistent with who wears that jersey. I'd really like to try to do that. I think that's something I'd be comfortable with moving forward, is the position that's played is consistent with the jersey number you're honoring.
Do you expect to have Will Coleman and Dontavian practice pretty soon? I know they're out there, but just, back available.
We'll see. Dontavian's still got the issue with the little foot issue that's going to slow him down, but Will's cleared to practice today. I think he just tightened up, so we'll see.
On that note, Fred Ross, he looked relatively smooth. What did you think about him? You said you were going to kind of limit him a little bit. What did you think about him out there?
Yeah, I thought, a little rusty in his. I think I saw him at one point. He was annoyed because he's a little rusty in what he was doing, but he's unlike other. We got a while before he needs to be ready to go. I have a pretty good feeling what he can do. So I am not as much in the evaluation mode on him as you are with some other players. So we'll just keep managing. I think the great thing when you're an older player like he is, when you lay out what the plan is before practice on rep count and all of the other things that's going on, the position coach knows it, the trainer knows it, and he knows it. And as an older player, it's easy for him to follow. I think younger players sometimes, I want to prove what I can do, or he knows what's going on. So I think it'll get managed very well.
Do you think Dante Jones will be back when school gets started up?
Yeah. One of the things is that he wouldn't. He's in camp as a rehabber. He's still rehabbing with all our guys. So we'd hope he'd be back. Once school starts up right there for him, though, with the shoulder, because he's not going to be cleared to play until, cleared for any practice until after school would start. So.
Does that just help you get another guy in the 105? Is that how that works?
Yeah, 105, you got to manage the 105 the right way. And you're always trying to manage it by position. You got to have enough snappers and enough kickers and enough punters, and you're trying to make sure you're balanced at different positions. And that's that's a tough deal in making sure your numbers fit. Because the hardest one is you can't anticipate injuries, and you can't replace guys. So if they get banged up, so for the most part, you got to really try to make sure you have all the right depth covered at every position. Assuming if I have an injury at every position on the team, are we still good? Now. If there's multiple injuries at the same position, sometimes that really throws you off and it makes it really difficult. But you got to try to manage it best as possible.